Vanakkam, Namaste and blessings to everyone. This is Dr. Bhairavi Balasubramaniam PhD, the Sky Priestess. The Leo Lunar Eclipse has just passed, and what an eclipse it has been. Oh my goodness. Well, you can read all about the astrology of it and the Grand Cardinal Cross and the yod and everything that's been woven into the alignment if you want the details, but I'm just going to give you a summary of things in this video. So, lunar eclipses are moments of culmination. They kind of highlight things in a way that makes it inescapable for us to then hide away from. So it's really a time of great revelation, and it puts things right in front of us. So we can't say, oh no, I didn't know, or this was hiding in the shadows, or anything like that. There's no more excuses. The eclipse just makes things apparent. And that is equally so with the eclipse in Leo Aquarius. So the moon was at 0 Leo and the sun was at 0 degrees Aquarius. And what this has brought up for all of us is really very powerful lessons surrounding the heart. Now, the heart engages with everyone in different levels, in different ways, and it's really not just about love or marriage or romance or joy, creativity, children, relationships. It influences every layer of our experience and existence as multidimensional beings on this earth plane. And really there's a lot more day-to-day navigating relationships, understanding astrological alignments in the article associated with this video, and I would strongly recommend taking the time to read it if you need more info on that. But when we take a step back and when we look at the larger picture, the energy of this eclipse is screaming out for discernment. So often, because we've really been just being, wave after wave after wave of energy since 2012, a lot of us just want a break, which is totally understandable. Sometimes most of us might just want, to just sleep and go, you know what, planets, you've been doing this way too long. And when we kind of go through that kind of fatigue, we want to find shortcuts. We want to find easy answers. We want to go for the path that seems fun and that seems happy, that seems exciting, and that can also, take us to a different level of consciousness. And none of that is wrong. All of those desires are perfectly fine. But with this eclipse, it feels as though we're pushed towards a crossroads that demand us to really step up and step into ourselves even more than we've done before. Now, some of you are really going to enjoy this energy, and that's great for you. Keep doing what you're doing, make beautiful things, fall in love with yourself, fall in love with the world, and do all of that stuff. But for a lot of people, this is going to be an absolute ass kicker. Because at an intellectual level, it's hard enough to hear that you might be wrong about something. But at an emotional level, when you have invested yourself, whether it's into an idea, a community, a relationship, a person, or even a certain way of seeing yourself, looking at patterns that are really, really, really dysfunctional can feel like a stab in your heart. And that's the other side of the Leo eclipse and what it's going to be bringing up for people. So it's really a time to get real with our emotional truths, our core emotional truths, and how it is we engage with others in the world around us. And that is a beautiful energy to work with. It's very creative, it's very dynamic, but given the astrological alignment that surrounds this eclipse, it can be rather tricky to navigate. Just as a quick heads up, and again, more details in the article, we've got Saturn squared Mars, we've got Venus squared Neptune, we've got Venus conjunct Jupiter and the Great Attractor, we've got Venus trine Mars, trine Thereus, we've got Venus opposite Eros, we've got a Grand Cardinal Cross with all of, basically the North Node, the South Node, the Sun, the Moon, Pallas Athena and Uranus. We've got a yod or a finger of fate with Pallas Athena, Juno, Chiron and Uranus again. That's just a lot. So when you want to distill all of this stuff into little nuggets and kernels of wisdom, you're going to come back to the basic truths. And the basic truth for this eclipse is to look at what you truly love and to ask yourself if what you love is a lie. Is it an illusion? Are you in love with the idea of the thing or the person or the job or the home or the reflection of yourself that you see in the mirror? Are you in love with the idea or ideal by which you see reality, or is it what you are truly seeing? How much does your perception make you vulnerable to creating or participating in energetic relationships that have back doors of access? You know, when you're looking at the shiny lights, when you're looking at what you want to commit yourself heart and soul and mind and body to, what's happening in the shadow, what's happening in the parts that you don't want to examine. And that's really the major theme that I would say comes up for all of us at this eclipse time. Now, again, we are in an incredible time of transformation. This is not going to stop anytime soon. But this is not an invitation for us to shut off and disconnect ourselves from our hearts. That is the opposite of what we need to be doing right now. And that, I would say, more than anything else, is what we need to remember. Keep your emotional body alive, open, and engaged with what you are doing. There's a lot of triggers in the outside world that can make us want to crawl under a blanket, hide in the sand, or just be invisible to the world around us, and that's not going to help us in the long term. The heart is capable of great love, great truth, great wisdom, great healing, and extraordinary courage. And I know that each and every one of you have the capacity to access that within yourselves. If you believe it is possible, and it is possible with these guys, and if you believe that you can see yourself or whatever it is that you're engaging with right now clearly, and to accept whatever truths that you find. So for some of you, you're going to be uncovering very deeply entrenched patterns of predation, especially in relationships where you have shown that tender underbelly to others. And the question is whether you're going to remain in that, or whether you're going to use that awareness to transform the energy of the relationship itself. Those of you who have a tendency, or rather, tendency is not the right word, or who have had experienced, narcissistic abuse, or who find themselves in, codependent relationships, this is a time for you guys to be really, really, really aware of hidden dynamics of control and abuse. Now, one of the books that I have found extraordinarily useful in unpacking these dynamics is a book called Women Who Love Too Much. It applies to men as well. And it's brilliantly written. So for those of you who need a little extra help, a little bit of a framework to navigate, read that book. Now, at the end of the day, when we learn and churn and go through and discern and find all of these different vibrations and what have you, we are somehow asked to take everything that we've learned, everything that we've sifted to, and to create something new. And that, in some sense, is where you find the beauty, is where you find the reward of just what you've experienced. So allow yourself to shift through and to move through whatever situation you are in, and know that what you take away from it is how you will unlock your own creative energy, your inner genius, your ability to make or birth an idea or vision into the world that can truly allow us all to move into a deeper, more focused, and at the same time more expansive, heart-centered consciousness. So that's what I have to say. And yeah, take care. Much blessings to all of you. Remember that the energy of this eclipse will continue to be influencing us for the next week. Remember that eclipses themselves are connected to one another through 18-year intervals. So what you're doing right now is not small, it's not minute, it's not something to just overlook. This particular full moon is part of a series of full moons where they're basically occurring at 0 degrees of the sign. So this is really a very powerful time for you to create new patterns of relating, especially in matters of the heart and matters of relationships. You will find that the decisions that you make in these areas of your lives have a very powerful effect on the rest of what you're doing. So take care of that precious, wonderful, creative, beautiful heart. Know that it is worthy of being loved without being made into a sacrifice, and that others have the same right as well. So, lots of love. Bye-bye for now.